So Mark Zuckerberg wants to make Meta-Facebook fair again. Now, if you've been paying attention to the program, you know that I've been saying since Mark Zuckerberg started combat sports and CrossFit, and I guess we could pull these archives and go back and prove this. When he started in those pursuits, I remember saying, watch what happens to Zuckerberg's point of view. He cannot continue to be what he has been when he is running in the circles of combat athletes and elite CrossFit. It's not because CrossFit's some political organization. After all, they dumped my friend Greg Glassman, who founded the thing, for making a political statement. It's not a political organization. It's a sports organization. But it's a sports organization that has stayed pretty true to being a sports organization, not making political statements right or left. So when Zuckerberg got into these combat sports and CrossFit, why did I say this is going to change him? Because it changed his body. It brought testosterone into him. He hadn't have it at these high levels. Men are designed to have high levels of testosterone because we're designed to work. We're designed to toil. And sometimes we're designed to engage in combat, or at least be able to. When Zuckerberg entered these circles, he also entered into a realm of different thought. That is people who are not in the world of theory, right? It's all good and well to have a theory as to how a CrossFit workout should work. It's another thing to go try to do it and apply your theory, even more so in combat sports. It's one thing to watch it and go, hey, he's really good at that. That's a great leg sweep, and then go in and try to do it. I'm here to tell you they're not the same thing. So Zuckerberg was around men with high testosterone who know they are to be the protectors of their family, and he had kids. All these things, I think, combined into an awareness for Zuckerberg that, wow, I've been in a group of people who have only one point of view, and it's not even a helpful point of view. Not for our country, not for our family. Now, he could be just conning us. I don't know his heart, but I don't think he is. I think there's been a genuine conversion of him, and he says he wants to make Facebook fair. So let's look at this in a second, because I have a suggestion for it. Facebook is located in California, right? I mean, that's where the HQ is. They've got offices all around the country in some major cities, but they're located in California. So for Zuckerberg to have this awakening in the state of California is sort of miraculous. I don't know why, but my friend John, who runs Allen Soaps, continues to locate his family in California. He sort of told me that, hey, grandma, grandpa, and proximity to some of the caregivers, et cetera. And that's important because Allen, after whom the soap company is named, is 14. He's been through probably 15, 18 operations. They've actually lost track. The last operation was fusing some vertebrae so he could walk a little better. Allen is nonverbal effectively because he's so high on the autism spectrum. His brother Ian is also affected by autism. This is what the world said to this family. True story. They saw little Allen in the womb, in the ultrasound, and doctors said to John and his wife, let us kill the baby. And they said, no, that's our son. I said, well, he's not going to have any quality of life. He's going to be a useless eater. Such a phrase. Allen's not a useless eater. He's an inventive young man who helps create fragrances of soaps that are completely unique to him and to you. And a family has partnered with them to make these soaps in an all-natural way in America. No additives, no chemicals. So choose. Go with the same soap company you've gone, or go with the coupon or the first thing you see on the shelf, companies that probably don't care about your values, or go with Allen Soaps. It's allensoaps.com/Todd, and you get 10% off all their products there. You can also subscribe to soaps. There's soaps for your businesses, hand soaps. It's Ian's Blend. It's allensoaps.com/Todd. So this is fellow Californian Mark Zuckerberg, part of his statement about wanting to make Facebook fair again.
The recent elections also feel like a cultural tipping point towards once again prioritizing speech. So we're going to get back to our roots and focus on reducing mistakes, simplifying our policies, and restoring free expression on our platforms. First, we're going to get rid of fact checkers and replace them with community notes similar to X, starting in the US. After Trump first got elected in 2016, the legacy media wrote nonstop about how misinformation was a threat to democracy. We tried in good faith to address those concerns without becoming the arbiters of truth. But the fact checkers have just been too politically biased and have destroyed more trust than they've created, especially in the US. So over the next couple of months, we're going to phase in a more comprehensive community notes system. Second, we're going to simplify our content policies and get rid of a bunch of restrictions on topics like immigration and gender that are just out of touch with mainstream discourse. What started as a movement to be more inclusive has increasingly been used to shut down opinions and shut out people with different ideas, and it's gone too far. Third, we're changing how we enforce our policies to reduce the mistakes that account for the vast majority of censorship on our platforms. We used to have filters that scanned for any policy violation. Now, we're going to focus those filters on tackling illegal and high-severity violations. And for lower severity violations, we're going to rely on someone reporting an issue before we take action. Fourth, we're bringing back civic content. For a while, the community asked to see less politics because it was making people stressed. So we stopped recommending these posts. But it feels like we're in a new era now, and we're starting to get feedback that people want to see this content again. We're going to move our trust and safety and content moderation teams out of California, and our US-based content review is going to be based in Texas. As we work to promote free expression, I think that it will help us build trust to do this work in places where there is less concern about the bias of our teams. Finally, we're going to work with President Trump to push back on governments around the world that are going after American companies and pushing to censor more.
So praise God for Zuckerberg making these decisions. Now let's really talk about making Facebook fair. He started by moving the content moderation team to Texas. Good call. Move the rest of Facebook. I mean, for logistical reasons and cost reasons and infrastructure reasons, I imagine that you maintain the Silicon Valley headquarters, but distribute your teams. Because I know you've got offices in Washington, D.C., and Seattle, and San Francisco. I believe you've got an office in Austin, some of the major markets. Those are all liberal cities. Get some of your folks working in rural areas. Make an attempt to recruit rural people. Right now, Facebook, when they go into rural areas, is to have data centers. There's one in Washington State in a very, very small town on the Columbia River because of the proximity to that river. Allows them to cool the processors and the computers, etc. So why not hire content teams there? Why not hire engineering teams there? Why not give bonuses to have some of your people move around the country, to be peppered around the country? Because when you're in a community with different views, something really magical happens. You find out that the people with these different views are not the horrible people their colleges taught them they were. You're hiring people largely with degrees. You want them to have these pedigrees. So make them experience the world in which their product is being provided. I'll never forget a moment in Idaho at my beloved little tiny little bait shop / convenience store. Really is a bait shop, by the way. And a woman had come in asking for ceremonial tobacco. She was Native American. And they didn't have ceremonial tobacco there. They just had the tobacco you smoke to get high, nicotine and such. So there's 3 white guys standing behind her, 2 of us with big beards and boots. One of those white guys was trying to get her attention. And I had this fear like, he's saying, hey, can you get out of the way? I got to buy my stuff. And he got her attention. She turned around and he said, ma'am, are you looking for tobacco to smoke in a ceremony, smokehouse ceremony? Yes. Okay. Here's a couple of places. He goes, do you have a piece of paper? He said to the clerk at the store, and he wrote down these pieces of paper, these locations of this. They also, he said, they have the herbs and things that you guys use. This one is native owned. I don't think this one is. She said, thank you, and started to walk out. Another guy said, hey, by the way, there's another one that's now located in Rathdrum. I don't know the address, but I could show you there. If you wanted to follow me, I could drive you by it. So people who are seeing this for the first time in North Idaho, wait, here's a brown lady in a Christian community with these white dudes around her. A Facebook employee sees that, and all of a sudden, all the propaganda they've been taught in the elite schools about people like us in North Idaho, it just took a major hit. Wow, those rednecks are pretty nice. Here's something else. Mark, higher community college graduates. You and I both know that by the time people graduate college with engineering degrees, code has moved beyond what they were taught in college. You and I both know that. So bring people in from the community colleges. Create a Facebook coding university. Help them learn code your way, and that will not only make them more loyal to you, you'll be teaching them at formative moments in their life. And You'll be hiring people who have the skill and the acumen, but maybe not the dollars to go to the elite universities. Therefore, you'll be spreading your bets. It's not just people from Stanford and Harvard, and it's not just people with any form of elite education. Good community colleges, good small colleges can churn out great employees for you. Locating your company personnel around the country is a great step. The community colleges are a great step. This one is a little bit more esoteric. Let people decide. I was joking. That's not particularly esoteric. Here's what I mean. If I decide to follow a page, I want to see their posts. I should be able to choose. Do I get algorithmically suggested posts or not? And if I say not, don't force it. For advertisers, this should be a big deal. Because if there's groups of people, millions, tens of millions, maybe 100 million, who only want to see the posts to the pages they subscribe, this would be a great way to get more endorsement advertising. Actually going to small content creators and giving them contracts to review products and to endorse them, right? Instead of just the algorithmic approach. The last one's a little bit personal, Zuck. You stole millions of dollars from me. Millions and millions and millions. Not personally, but when you decided to destroy the reach of a Facebook page I invested in with a friend of mine, you started to destroy our company, which at the time was turning over about $600,000 to $1 million a month, $600,000 to $1 million a month for us. You decided to destroy our reach because we told a joke. You did something very similar to me later with some of my show pages that went from massive reach, and you destroyed them because I told the truth about public health officials and an approach to a certain disease that may or may not exist. It may have just been the flu. Restore my pages. Go and make amends because you have a record of pages that have been destroyed by the purge of free speech. So restore our followers and put notes out apologizing. So people who've subscribed to the Todd Herman Show Facebook page or some of our other corresponding pages will get a post. This page was subject to speech codes and censorship. We apologize and are restoring this feed, and then let them decide. If you want to be fair, really do be fair. Thanks for making the approach, Mark, and at least the effort.